Good afternoon and welcome to everybody to this afternoon's Kingdom of Saudi Arabia branch meeting. Today's presentation is on influential leadership for successful health and safety management. And we're pleased to have with us today Bitim Gotan, who's a risk management manager for Eastern Province Cement Company. So, okay, that's enough from me. I'll now hand over to you, Bipin.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you very much. And hello, dear ladies and gentlemen. Nice to meet you once again, and thank you for attending IIRSM webinar conference or a meeting. And I hope this is going to be a very pleasant conference and the training session, including the presenter. So today, we're going to talk about influential leadership for successful health and safety management. As this topic is one of the hit list topic all over the world globally, we are talking about leadership, leading the change, empowering the change, leading the people, and how we deliver the change. Now, this is always been a hot topic for everyone. But today, we are going to explore what exactly it means about the leadership in health and safety management. And we will see some of the past experiences or the disasters which has directly hinting back to the leadership deficiency, or there is a failure of the leadership deficiency, so that we can improve how we can move forward, specifically when we talk about leading the change in health and safety management. Okay, so that's a little bit of background to all of you, dear ladies and gentlemen, whoever are attending there, and let's begin our presentation. So first of all, we understand health and safety management. Now, there is a management system, everybody know about this, ISO 14001 and ISO 18001. Now, there are two management systems. 18001 is the older version, and 45001 is the new version of health and safety management system. Now, in these two, we are trying to see the difference. What exactly the difference in this both of the management, and this is typically influencing, or this is typically guiding us on the leadership and controlling the risk throughout the management process of health and safety management system. Now, there are some of the ILO management cycle is there. There are health and safety executive UK cycle is there, and there are OSHA 18001 health and safety management cycle is there. Now, this is the older version, and there is a new version, which is ISO 45001. Now, both the difference we can see over here. We have a policy, we have a planning, we have implementation and operations, we have checking and corrective actions, and we have the management review. So exactly what is the difference we see in ISO 45001 and the older version in OSHA 18001 exact? And when you see the difference now, the difference comes here in the middle of the cycle. There is the leadership and the worker participation. Now, that means we need to understand leadership is taking over overall responsibility and accountability for prevention of work-related injury. Now, this is highlighting itself that how much leadership and leaders are important for managing health and safety, or successful execution of safety and health and management system in your organization or any organization. That means it is a part of promoting a continual improvement process. It is part of developing a leading and promoting a culture. Now, this is only possible through influencing or inspiring leadership. Now, that's where we begin. Influencing. Now, that means there are some of the different leadership styles, or there may be required some of the different leadership quality to inspire or influence the people around the organization to ensure we have successfully, or to ensure we achieve a successful health and safety management. Now, ISO 45001, obviously, it is in the middle of the circle. Now, you can see over here in the screen, leadership and worker participation. That means it is combining, jointly combined with all the cycles. Means in every cycle of the ISO 45001 management system, means leaders are connected with each and every respective steps to ensure that we have achieved the successful management system of occupational health and safety. So that means leaders and workers should participate and involve each other for promoting a continual improvement and setting the occupational health and safety objectives to ensure that we can achieve a successful health and safety management. Now, this is the big difference between the older version and the newer version, because the older version was improvised back in 2018, adding leadership and worker participation to ensure that we are managing health and safety successfully and strengthening the team to achieve a zero goal or zero accident. Now, that's where we are talk about the overview of health and safety management system. Now let's talk about some of the important aspects about why leader is important, some of the realities the world is facing, some of the challenges. Now this is one of the some of the snap line or a strap line that I have accounted, or that I have taken it from the newspaper article that has been published. Okay, now some of these are very interesting facts. Now let's talk about Greenfield Tower. Now there was a Grenfell Tower, London. There was a fire incident and you can see a London police considering manslaughter charges. Now it's again hinting back to the leader. It's a manslaughter charges. The fire incident take over lot of people's lives, and that's where is very important. London police considering manslaughter charges and confirm a fire started in the fridge. Now this is one of the newspaper articles. Another is British Petroleum, Tony Hayward, and the failure of leadership and accountability. Another newspaper article for Deepwater Horizon incident. Now you know that British Petroleum had to pay a $4.5 billion penalty over Deepwater Horizon disaster. Now this is also a newspaper articles. Now you can see some of the realities, how the people, how the organizations, and how the newspaper articles giving the importance and the failure of the leadership. Shell contractor faces $12.2 million fines in fines for environmental and safety violations. Now these are again the hinting back to the realities, and the realities what we are facing all over the world globally. It's about BP, it's about Grenfell Tower, London, it's about jail time, it's about contractors are fined not following the safety management system, or it's about a global rise in the manslaughter and officer conviction related to health and safety breaches. Now, these are some of the important realities why we need to make sure that leaders are taking the commitment towards the health and safety and ensuring the achievement of successful management of health and safety. Now, these all are the fines. These all are the penalties that has been in reality, that was the issue with these companies, which has been published in the newspaper article that show us that leadership is very much important. We cannot tolerate. Eventually, now, if we see, we cannot tolerate any mistake, and that mistake will revert back us with a deadly consequences, and which are very visible over here. You can see the newspaper articles like Grenfell Tower, London, the big fire incident took place in the tower of the apartment building, and there are Shell contractors, British Petroleum in the Deepwater Horizon disaster. Now, these are some of the realities which shows that leadership is very much important. Now, next question is that, do we walk the talk? We are in the verge of very potential situation that the world or the global statistics of ILO is showing that more than 2.3 million deaths per year just because of not following or complying with safety regulation or the standards. Every 15 seconds, a worker dies from a work-related accident or disease. Now, this is also not acceptable. Now, still, the question goes back to us: do we walk the talk? Are we following? And the key fact is showing that no, we are not walking the talk. We are only just talking, and we are only doing just the desktop exercise or the paper exercise. But in reality, some of the things are missing and still missing. And this is how we can show. How we can see it from the statistics of ILO. 2.3 million still deaths are occurring. 4% of GDP loss, world gross domestic product loss, is just because of workplace accident. Every 15 seconds, different 153 workers have a work-related accident. Now, this is again alarming facts. when we see this is the alarming fact. Facts about the occupational health and safety, why it is important, and why the leaders in the organization. Now, leader is not only a leader, we need influencing leadership, and we will gonna talk about different leadership styles and what kind of leadership styles we are looking for to ensure the successful health and safety management. Now, this is also another question to us. Do we walk the talk? Do we follow, or we are only just making a desktop or a paper exercise on compliance with occupational health and safety requirements. So that's why we need to walk the talk, because still the people are dying and 2.3 million deaths per year. And these facts and figures are always very much giving us the real scenario, what's happening all over the world in a global perspective, in the global overview. Now let's see some of the case studies. Everybody knows, dear ladies and gentlemen, now this is one of the worst disasters in the global. It is one of the worst disasters in the history. Now you can see a Bhopal gas disaster that is in India, where more than thousands of people were affected due to the gas leakage, methyl isocyanate. Now they are saying we need a justice. And this is the justice. We want justice. People died. People are still affected by the chemical which has been released, the poisonous gas which has been released back in the history in 1984. Now, this is the case study. Now, based on the investigation of this study, what it is showing, where was the failure? Where was the problem? Why people are saying we want justice, and they want justice? The people are saying like this because the fact is saying that there was a big corporate negligence. Again, the problem was the leadership. There was the leadership failure because the consequent audit was done and the corrective actions were not taken by the leaders of the company earlier due to accidents. Now, there was a corporate negligence. There was inexperienced people. Again, the problem with the leaders. There were no planning in place, and all the things are pointing towards the failure of leaders and driving health and safety management system. Now, this is not a new subject. Everybody, every one of us, each one of us know that the history of Bhopal gas disaster, where more than hundreds and thousands of people were injured or affected by the leakage of the gas, the poisonous isocyanate gas, where the people died and where people injured, and still the people are being affected. That is called untold story of Bhopal gas disaster, where people are being still affected due to the poisonous chemicals and the hazardous substances of the chemicals of the release. Now, that's where we want to see. It's again the leadership, corporate negligence. It's again the people are not properly managed. Inexperienced people at the team. Non-operational items. No inspections are done, but no corrective actions are taken. No emergency response in place. Now, these again, leadership. Question to us: do we walk the talk? Are we following what we really need to do? And that's what, again, hinting back to the leaders. Now, that's why this is a well-researched subject, dear ladies and gentlemen. The leadership is about the well-researched subject, and we have a lot of curriculum in leadership. Now, there are theories of leadership. Now, we cannot, in this small session, we cannot learn about all the leadership theories and the traits. But yes, it's a general awareness for all of you that there are a lot of research and a lot of contribution in the leadership theory, especially when we talk about, especially when it comes to a leadership or influencing leadership. Now, there are different kind of leadership styles: transformational leadership styles, transactional leadership styles. Okay, now these leadership styles have been researched that which leadership style will be the perfect for in the company or within the organization to make sure we achieve the successful health and safety management. Now, these all have the rationale. Okay, these all leadership have the rationales that which one would be the better options, or which one we need to choose, or what kind of leaders. Now, there are some autocratic leaders, there are some democratic leaders, there are some transformational leaders, there are some empowering leaders, there are some invitational leaders, there are some transactional leaders, Now, these are all the different kinds of leadership style. Now, which leadership we need to choose to make sure we have a successful health and safety management system, or to achieve the best outcome, to achieve the best outcome. That's what we have a theories of leadership. Now, what exactly the theories of leadership is that they affect the safety culture and the behavior. Because you know why? As per the research, it is saying that 80 to 90% of accidents at the work site is due to unsafe act and the condition of the people. Or unsafe action, that is how you act. 80 to 90% of accidents due to unsafe action. Now, action is affected by the leaders. The action is affected by the leaders. Now, that's where exactly the leadership styles comes at autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire, transformational, transactional leadership. Now, which one to choose for the best, and which one is the best leadership style that we want to the people to engage more, to have a significant reduction in accident rate, and to achieve or create a safety culture which can lead the change and which can change the attitude of the people and the employees so that they can act safely. Now, in day-to-day activities of employees, now we observe their behavior, their actions. So all these are based on the inspiring leadership. All are based on the how people act or how they behave based on the leadership style you choose, or how your leaders are influencing your people. So they are leading by the example at the work site. Okay, now these theories are researched. Which one is the best? Now, some say transactional leadership is best. Some say transformational leadership is best. Some say autocratic is the best. Some say democratic is the best. Now, what is the best which is suited? Now, it is again a big question to us. We cannot say that transformational is the best one or transactional is not the good one. Now, we need to have a mixed approach. We have to have a mixed approach of all this leadership style to achieve the best outcome whenever possible when it comes to the organization. Okay, you cannot say democratic leadership style is the best one, because sometimes democratic may not be, they might have a disadvantages which could not be suitable for your organization. So you may need to have a democratic and the transformational both leadership style to influence the people, specifically at the job site or within your organization. Now, that's why still leadership styles are being researched. Still, there are a lot of question marks and a lot of rationales are there, because we cannot say that this is the best leadership style you need to choose. But yes, this gives an idea that we have a different leadership style, transforming the people. Now, the change has occurred. Now you can see the change in the countries. Okay. Now there are two concepts. One is empowering concept, and the other one is leading concept. Which concept you need to adopt? Now that's what is the difference between the transformational and difference between the transactional. Are you getting my point? So that means one is leading. Leading means you just want to lead as a leader. Okay, I will lead. You do this, you do that. You do this. Okay, sir. Okay, boss. I want to do this. I will do that. Now that is called leading. But empowering means you are making the person a leader. That means your subordinates down the line, you are empowering them with the power to lead the team again. You are looking for another leader, not you are leading it. You are looking for another leader to make the maximum potential or to get the maximum potential from the person, individual, or within the organization. Now you can see the distribution, the countrywide, where the empowering style is there and where the leading style is there. Now some of the topmost countries, Sweden is in the empowering at the topmost because they have the much more, they follow the empowering style of leadership, and which is more effective for them. And some of the countries like Singapore, Thailand, they have the leading leadership styles. Now this shows different leadership styles and the different safety culture and the behavior of the people. So we have to change the trend of leading, and we have to change the whole concept and divert to the concept of the empowering leadership. Now, empower the people to make the change. It's not that, okay, it's health and safety is, you have preached the health and safety, now this is wrong. No, you have to empower the people to make sure the breach can be avoided, or health and safety rules are followed by the people by bringing the primitive way of thinking, a traditional way of thinking, changing the traditional way of thinking to the refined way of excellence. That's what we are looking, the refined way of excellence. And that's only possible if we have the concept of empowering leadership. Empower the people. If you don't empower, people will not get that much motivation. That's why we have the theory of motivation, Maslow theory of motivation. Now people get motivated, people get self-actualized, self-aware or self-conscious once they reach to the level of empowerment. So that empowerment is missing in the occupational health and safety management system. Now, even in the country-wide, even in the global, because we are in the global perspective and we are with a global organization, IIRSM, so that's why we are more on a globally focused rather than a regional focus. So that's why empowerment has become one of the major challenge to us, how we empower the people at the work site, how we empower the people at the job site, and that's where the Titanic ship. Now the failure of the Titanic, 710 survivors, only 710 survivors, and more than almost 1,514 people died. Is one of the worst scenario of the incident, or we can say the accident in the history, the saga of the Titanic ship that drowned, and many lives were claimed because of this incident. Now, do you know what happened? The leader, again, the problem with the leader, the captain ignored the multiple warnings of the iceberg, which is in North Atlantic. He chose to ignore that. And again, this is problem of the leadership style, the ignoring the rules and regulation problem with the leadership style. Maybe autocratic way of thinking. No, I don't want. It's my choice. It's my decision. They have to follow it. This is called autocratic way of managing the things. It's my decision. No, no way. What I say, you have to do it. That's called autocratic leadership style. It's only autonomous. It's only independently decided by the one person. It's nobody is involved there. Now that's what captain was a kind of his management, his thinking, or his concept, or his self-actualization was kind of autocratic, that he even ignored the safety rule. It's my decision. I'm a captain of the ship. I didn't even prefer to ask the cadet officer that is there any warnings. He didn't listen to anyone, and unfortunately this incident took place of the Titanic ship that we know very well, that 1,514 passengers were killed and drowned, and only 710 survivors. Now this is one of, again, the worst history of the Titanic. Because why I have chosen this, okay, why we have chosen this is that it is a hit top. Everybody knows about Titanic. Everybody knows about Bhopal gas disaster. Everybody knows about Deepwater Horizon incident of British Petroleum. Now, these all the topics are well aware of that. So that's what we have chosen it, or I have chosen it, so that everybody knows where was the failure. Now, multiple warnings were given to the ship captain, but due to his autocratic behavior, the autocratic style of the leadership, he ignored the safety warnings, and unfortunate, there was a human error and led to the accident, the saga of Titanic. Now, this is one of the case history, the case study we can say, which occurred during back in decades. Okay, so that's where I was talking to you exactly. Everyone needs a motivation. Now there is a motivation. Now how you motivate yourself? Now leaders are inspiring the people to get motivation, to get engagement, to get involvement, to follow, to comply, to encapsulate, to achieve the perspective or the set objective of the goal. Until and unless the person is self-motivated, it is not possible. And the motivation is only possible. You have the good empowering leaders. Now, the Maslow theory is saying that every person have their Maslow, the theory of needs. Okay, now this is a very good theory. Now it is saying that to have a maximum potential of a person, or to get a maximum potential of the person should need to a top of the pyramid of the needs. Now every person have their needs. Now first need is the base of the pyramid, that is physical need. Second is safety need. Third is social need. Fourth is esteem, self need, self-respect, and finally that the person will reach to the highest level, that is called expand skills or self-actualization, that is called the leadership quality. Okay, a leader should be in the quality of the self-actualization in the pyramid, so that they are already in the experience the different physical needs or the social needs or the safety needs or the esteem needs in the theory of Maslow, and they have reached to the point where now they can expand their skills and they can expand their leadership styles to match with the organizational requirement to achieve a successful health and safety management system. Until and unless the person is fully motivated to achieve or to get certain goal, that's impossible for us to think even that we can have a good leading safety system in our organization. In any organization, it's not possible. And that's why these theories are so much important. Theories of motivational, Maslow theory, it's one of the human resources theory. When we study in the academic level, and we need to study this Maslow theory of needs, and this Maslow has given a very well profound theory that a leader should be at the top of the pyramid to lead the team. Then only we can create a transformational leader, okay, empowering leader, where you are looking for a transformation of your team. Okay, you are not looking for autocratic or even a democratic leadership style is not good. Okay, democratic means what happens? You will listen to the people, you will involve the people, you will engage the people. Now, again, there is a question, will you transform the people? Now, we are looking for transformational of people. We are looking for the operational excellence. We are looking for the excellence among the people, so that your people can also reach to the top of the pyramid to achieve the maximum potential of the self-actualization, where they can perform a highly skilled performance can be there, and thereby you can achieve the best health and safety management system in your organization. Then that's only possible if as a leader you are at the top of the pyramid of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Yes. So that's why, as I already mentioned, there is a self-actualization, self-leader. This is equally increased. They are highly capable persons who are at the top of the pyramid of Maslow theory, top of the pyramid. They are highly professional. They are highly intelligent, and they knows how to interface between the human, and they knows how to democratically handle the character and the structure within the organization to achieve with a high level of creativity within the section or the department or whatever organizations we are following. Now that's where we need to focus. Are we really highly actualized person? Now that's where exactly the quotes of Einstein, Albert Einstein made a very beautiful quotes. You can see over here, the leader is one who out of the clutter, which is out of the clutter, who brings the simplicity, who brings the harmony, and who brings the opportunity in the difficult time. Now this is called, these all are the self-actualized people as per the Maslow's hierarchy of need theory. Okay, now as per the Maslow, they are all self-actualized person like Einstein. The value of achievement lies in the achievement. That's what is exactly we are to achieve it. Successful achievement of health and safety management system. Now the value of achievement lies in the achieving. So that's what another is that a person who never made a mistake, means he never tried anything new. Now that is all is the leadership quality. People make mistakes. Mistakes are there, but what is your approach? What is your approach to see the mistakes? How you evaluate the mistakes and how you make sure that mistakes are recovered as a leader. That's your mindset. Everything is a mindset, everything is the motivation, everything is your personal trait. That's why we have a leadership theory. Personal qualities, the belief system, behavior, and how you can motivate the people and the organization ahead. So that's why, as I mentioned, there has been a numerous studies, and this means we should have the support. This means that to have an effective management system, the managers and the leaders should have a proper intervention scheme within the organization to minimize the injury rate and to have a high potential development or the achievement that we want to see within the organization or the progress we want to see within the organization. So examples I give transformational. Now let's talk about the transformational because I find this transformational leadership is quite interesting and quite uh, more impact. It can bring a more impact within your organization. Now, when you talk about the different theories of leadership, I was quite fascinated with the transformational or the charismatic leadership. Now, even we can say the charisma or some kind of charisma we are doing. Okay, some kind you can transform the people. You are motivating the followers to improve the performance and you are building the trust. Okay, transformational means you are challenging the status quo of the status quo. Now we think that challenging is wrong. Now, if it's an autocratic management system, we don't like people to challenge. But if it's a transformational leadership style, we like people needs to challenge each other so that constructive thoughts can be built for the improvement within an organization. We have a vision, we have an inspiration to the workers. Now, this is what is called the transformational leadership style, the behavior, the challenging nature. Challenge it. Either you can make it or either you can break it. Now, the challenging is a very good word. People think it in a negative way, but the challenge or the status, challenging the status quo, bringing the opportunity for the improvement within the organization, bringing the ways to improve within your organization. And that's where the leadership is playing the important role for the successful health and safety management system. Now, go back to your organization and see what exactly the leadership styles that has been followed. Transformational, autocratic, democratic, transactional. What kind of leadership styles are there? And do the research. Find it out whether we have a mixed or whether we have some improvement is required in our leadership styles that we can change or and have a better improvement. Are we challenging each other within the organization to create a vision so that we can achieve a better performance within an organization or to inspire the workers at the workplace? Now, these are all the qualities of the transformational leadership. These are very much important. So that's the fact. Now, some of the facts about leadership. Leadership, 70% of leadership is driving the employee engagement. Now, if you say that my employees are engaged, highly involved, that means it's only possible through the leaders. 70% leaders should drive the employee engagement. So if you want to achieve the employee engagement, 70%. So leadership training increases productivity by 25%. Another interesting fact. So if you do the leadership training to your people, the productivity increases by 25%. Transformational leaders. Now that's what we are talking about, transforming the leaders, empowering empowering leadership. Now, transformational leaders can reduce the turnover of your employees by 14%. Now, even you can reduce, if you have the transformational leadership in your organization, you can reduce the turnover by 14%. Now, even another fact is that effective leaders increase the market share by 45%. Now, even it's a financial benefit we are talking about here. It's not only about occupational health and safety. We are going on the wider picture. Even effective leaders increase the market share by 45%. 83% business say leadership development is important. Now that's where is the important point lies or hidden. 83% of businesses are saying that leadership development is very important in the organization, and 75% of employees report leaving jobs due to poor leadership. Now they are leaving the company or the job because there was a poor leadership. How many people are saying? 75% of the employees are saying that they left the job because of the poor leadership. Now that's where leaders are important for us. That's where the influencing leadership is driving the employee engagement. They are driving the awareness. They are driving, transforming the people. They are driving the market share. They are driving the business. So that's where it is very much significant that we need to understand influencing leadership of health and safety management is also very much important. It's only possible if we have a great or inspiring leaders. Now another disaster in the April 20 of 2010. Now this is another deep water horizon disaster of Gulf of Mexico. Okay, the oil leakage. Now what was the estimated 9 million barrels of 4.9 million barrels of oil was leakage in the deep water horizon oil drilling platform. Okay, the largest marine spill, oil spill in the history. Okay, deep water horizon in the Gulf of Mexico. Now you can see over here the condition. 4.9 million barrels of the oil was spilled within the atmosphere, within the ocean, and you can imagine the consequences, what could have done. Now the findings, again the findings showed that the Deepwater Horizon incident at the Gulf of Mexico is entirely due to the human errors, due to the poor dynamic leadership skill. Again, the poor dynamic leadership skills. We need a skills. We need a skill, leadership skill. That's why we got the fact that 83% of business say leadership development is important. 83% are saying that we need a leadership development. And that's where exactly it's saying that even the BP Gulf of Mexico, the Deepwater Horizon incident was due to the failure of leadership, and the coordination were prevailing in the top. There was no proper coordination in the top management, lower management, even the BP, British Petroleum, being such a big oil giant company within the world globally. They are still paying the price of that. You can Google it. You will know all the information, what exactly the consequences. The BP, British Petroleum, is still recovering the environmental and lot of developments they are doing or investing the money just to pay the price of that BP Deepwater Horizon incident in the Gulf of Mexico. Now there is also one Hollywood movie in Deepwater Horizon. You can even see the Hollywood movie. The actual scenario was taken from that incident, and the movie was made. Hollywood movie was made on that incident. It is exactly, you can see what exactly happened to the incident, Deepwater Horizon, and what was the consequences and how much million barrel of oil was spilled in the history. Now this is also one of the history, the disaster that occurs in the world, and again this is again the failure of leadership. So that's why now this is the history, past history. Everything, the failures, the corporate failures, disasters, these are showing that there is the emergence of the risk management. Now that's where the concept of the risk management came, the concept how to manage the risk as International Institute of Risk and Safety Management. Okay, wow, the concept of risk management came into the picture is due to corporate failures, due to major safety disaster, due to the business continuity, due to the reputational damage. Now, all these failures are due to, again, the problem is hinting with the leaders. Are your leaders capable? Are your leaders leading the way that they are empowering the people within the organization to achieve the objectives or to achieve the goal, not only in occupational health and safety, overall risk management concept, even a corporate failure, safety, health, environment, risk, or whatever you want to say. That's exactly we are looking into this year. Now let's talk about the Nokia. Okay, we didn't only talk about health and safety, but we want to see what about the other concept? What about the other ideas? Now, you know the Nokia name, it's so much familiar with all of us. Everybody knows Nokia phone. Even you go and ask your grandfather, 85 years old grandfather, do you know Nokia phone? Ah, Nokia phone is very good phone. Still, they will say 85 years old people or 70 years old people. The old people, you go and ask Nokia phone, they like the phone. They know very well this was very habitual to everyone that Nokia phone is one of the best telecom or the best phone for everyone. But unfortunately, there was a big failure, Nokia failure. Now, what was the problem? That's again the leadership failure. You know how the Nokia was one of the leading mobile manufacturing company, which went to the top of the pyramid, which went to the top of the graph with a high revenue, better than iPhone or better than other competitors in the market. But unfortunately, due to poor risk management, they had a failure and they have a big dip in their market share, and they have to lose all the businesses, and they have to have a mere failure just because of being dysfunctional organizational structure and the poor management structure. That's why everything is pointing back to the leadership style and how we are serious about the leadership development of the company, not about only the successful health and safety management. It's part of the management system, but yes, it's everything is covered by the leaders and how your people are empowering your people within the organization. Now, another interesting fact. Okay, let's talk about the NASA. Now, NASA did the first test of their Apollo 1 to the space in 1967. Now, this first test was a failure and place for the concept of the evolved history of the emergency. Even they don't have a risk management. There occurred a fire incident inside the cabinet, inside the um, astronaut, where they want to travel to the space. Inside the astronaut cabin, there occurred a fire, and all the three astronauts have to die when they did the first test of Apollo 1, when they are sending the uh, astronauts, where they are sending the space, when they are sending these tubes to the space. I think this is for the moon. Okay, now that's where exactly, now you can see here, even these three astronauts have to die because there was no risk assessment concept. No risk assessment. They didn't do the risk assessment. Unfortunately, there was a fire, and all the three astronauts died just because they have smoke, they have inhaled the smoke, and they have to die within the space, within that within the tube. And all three astronauts died in the test flight. And from where this NASA did not even apply the principle of risk assessment to backdated in 1967. Now, this is very old. This is not new. Now, they have very much well sophisticated system NASA is having, but now this is back in 1967. This is also a lesson learning how the failure, leadership, again, the leadership failure, no risk management system in the place. Now, after that concept, there was a highly emergent on the risk management, risk assessment, risk concept. Everything evolved slowly, and now you can see everywhere the concept of risk management. It's so much familiar to the people. But that we have paid the price for this, and so many people. So many three astronauts died just because simply there was a failure on the management system. There is no risk management. And we lose the people, we lose the system, and 3 astronauts died simple because if there was a risk assessment, risk management, there might have proper evaluation or identification of the hazards within that space traveler or within that equipment, so that they could have identified and analyzed the fire safety hazards so that astronauts could have saved their lives. But unfortunately, it does not happen because that was again a failure of the leadership. So that's where we have so much preference, or we have so much requirement on leadership and how we lead the team. That's very much important. Now, this NASA example, 1967 first flight, Apollo. Now, there was Apollo 1, Apollo 2. Now, there are different test flights to the moon, and finally they succeeded. But whatever it is, but to get that success, they have to pay the price, and the price was so horrible. They lose 3 astronauts just because inside the tube, just because they inhale the smoke and they have to drive because there was no risk assessment and management principles were applied within this. That's why, dear ladies and gentlemen, we have to be inspiration to the people. There are a lot of leaders: Steve Jobs, Jack Ma, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Now, these are all the leaders which have given a different which have given a different perspective to the people, a transforming to the people. We need to transform the people. Leaders ignite the mind of others. Now we have to ignite the mind of others being a leader so that they can have a changeable, we can see the changeable consequences. We can see the change in the behavior. So to ignite the minds, we have to open up our motivational, the self-actualization level as per the Maslow theory. We have to reach to the top and we need to ignite the mind of others. That's what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is saying. Steve Jobs is saying that innovate. We need to innovate and distinguish between a leader and a follower. Now that's where again, and Jack Ma, the Chinese billionaire, he is saying that find the right people, not the best people. So find the right people, not the best people. We have best people, but we need the right people for the job. So these are all the inspirations. So day by day, leadership development, leading the people, inspiring the people, this is very, very much significant. Now you have seen almost 4 case study, Titanic. You have seen the case study of Deepwater Horizon. You can see the case study of NASA. Now, these all are saying there was a failure. There was a failure in the principle. There was a failure in the system. There was a failure in the leadership quality or the leadership styles. So that's why we inspire the people. We drive the change, and we need to be the change and be the change, ignite the mind of the other. That's what we are exactly looking for on the influencing leadership of successful health and safety management system. Okay, so what we have learned about the leadership is that leaders are the people who are actually driving the change that we want to see within the organization. And that's only possible because it's only possible if our leaders within the organization take over that responsibility. As I already told you, that 83% of businesses say leadership development is important. Now, 83% of people are saying that leadership development is very much important, and 75% of employees are saying that they leave the job of the company just because of the poor leadership. Now, that's why we know the importance of the leadership and the leadership quality. These all the incidents are giving us the hint that inspiring leadership, ignite the mind of the other, ignite the mind of the people, be the leader. So don't be like a Nokia failure. Don't be like a Deepwater Horizon incident where the people are negligent. Even being a British Petroleum, the BP, one of the giants in the oil industries, they had a failure and they are still paying the price. You can Google it, billions of investment has been still made to recover that incident. Still they are paying the money or the penalty for that fine because they have to prove the owner of this oil drill platform that they have some improvement strategy, recovering strategy just to safeguard their name of the company. Now that's where It is very much important, dear ladies and gentlemen. We are looking for inspiring or the transforming leaders so that we can bring the change what we are looking for within the organization. And we don't want to land up with the disasters. We don't land up with the disasters because we want to achieve the successful health and safety management. And exactly, I showed you ISO 45001. Now, this is the recent changes. We are using an old system before, OSA's 18001, but it has been changed to ISO 45001 back in 2018. Now, they have highlighted leadership at the first within the cycle of the management system. Leadership should be connected, and they are in the middle, connecting with all the steps of the management cycle. Now, that's why leaders are very much important for us. And in conclusion, leaders should have a communication system. Good communication with their vision are clearly disseminated within the organization. We need to have an effective leadership with adequate engagement with promoting safety behaviors. We need to ensure we have a legal, moral, and financial responsibility are taken care by the leaders of the company, improving overall policies and the principle of the organization. And every organization's safety performance depends upon the influence of the leaders. We need to value and care their employees. And again, we don't want to land up like a Bhopal gas disaster. Bhopal gas disaster, many thousands of people died due to poisonous gas. We don't like to be like a Nokia. There was the failure of the company just because of the poor leadership. We don't want to be like a Deepwater Horizon incident just because, again, the corporate negligence. So these are showing that how much leaders are important. And just before closing the session, I want to give you the opportunity for the further studies. Please make sure, if you have a time, do the study on the two theories. One is leadership theories. Just let me go back to the presentation, please. Theories of leadership. Now, this is very interesting subject. Now, even we have a very limited time, and I cannot comment on all the leadership theories, but this is a very big hint or the learning opportunity for all of you, that we have a different leadership theories, transformational, transactional, trade theories. Now, based on the theories, all the theories, if we do the research, these theories have different pros and cons. Now, we have to decide which theories will be the best for your organization, and it is specifically based on your organization performance and the organization concept, the mindset your company is following, because it is different. Some organization might have a democratic leadership style. Now, they might accept that, okay? They might have, but democratic is a very good leadership style, but they might have to add some transformational concept to this so that the mix style will have a better outcome. That's what is my understanding, and based on my research, we should have a mixed approach. I cannot say that transforming is always good. No, transforming with a democratic can be a better management style or the leadership style to achieve the outcome, that is successful health and safety management. And that's what I want to request you all of. Go into the theories of leadership, try to get the insights of this, because this is very interesting subject, and these all kind of different styles of leadership will give you an idea what exactly my company or the organization is following. And again, I want to remind you of these important facts. Please let us not be on the headlines of the news again. Influencing leadership for successful health and safety management. We need to inspire the leaders. No, we don't want to inspire the newspaper for the article or for the reputational damage of the company, like what exactly you can see in front of the screen. Okay, paying the penalties or paying the paying the manslaughter charges, like it is horrible, and no company or organization wants that this should happen within their organization. And before that, if you have any questions, we have 10 minutes left, I believe. I just want to close my sessions, and this is very short presentations, and I hope it has given much understanding on different kind of leadership, on the theory of Maslow's, which is very much important on the motivational level of the people, and inspiring the leadership styles and different case studies. It could have been a very understandable session for all of you. And if you have any questions, you can write in the chat box. We have very limited time, so I just need need to confirm if you have any doubts so that I can have a better opportunity to answer your questions as well during this presentation.
Hi, Bipin. Yes, we do have some questions. So the
Yeah.
first one is, what do you advise the middle leaders and who are not encouraged or empowered to perform? What do you advise they do?
Okay. Middle leaders. Now, middle leaders are the medium between the top leaders and are medium between the top leaders and the below leaders. They are in the middle. Now, what I need to advise, as I already told you in my presentation, 83% of the organization need to have a leadership development program. I would advise you implement the concept of leadership development program within your company so you can develop the middle leaders and transform them to the top leaders. That's what is our main agenda. Our main agenda is that transform the people. We are not making the follower. We are making the next leader. Inspire the people and bring the leadership quality out of the people. You have to pull out the leadership quality of the people, and this is only possible if you have a leadership program and your organization CEO and the top management is committed to achieve this goal. Thank you.
Thank you, Bipin. The next one is, what is the difference between 18,001 and 45,001?
Okay, thank you for the question. 18,001, OSHA 18,001 is an older management system of ISO, of the management system, health and safety management system. That is basically a British-based management system where we call it Occupational Health and Safety 18,001 management system. It was older version because people are normally using that. That was specifically from the British system, and people are adopting that OSHA 18,001 management system to improve the better health and safety system within the organization. But eventually there was a lot of development took place back in 2018, and this has been included in the global platform of ISO, that is International Standard Organization, ISO 45001. Now OSHA 18,001 British system is no more applicable because we already have a global platform or a global system, that is ISO 45001, which is improvised version of OSHA 18,001. Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And then the next question is, the success, let me just read this again.
Yeah.
Is the success of the safety system is achieved? Oh, let me start again. The success of the safety system is achieved by senior management first. Is this correct?
Safety of success of safety management starts with ground level people, and the safety system, success of safety system starts from the grass level, and to drive that grass level, we need the leadership support. Thank you.
Thank you. And then there's just one last question, and that was, I'm not sure what part it is, but it came in pretty early on. Are these statistics considered up to date? So it was about 10 minutes into your presentation, I think.
Okay. Can you, I'm sorry, my pardon, please. Could you please repeat me once again?
So the gentleman is asking, are the statistics you used considered to be up to date?
See, this now, these research the statistics research are up to date and taken from the published article, and this is recent. This is even though it's not recent, but yes, it is giving us a learning opportunity, and this is taken from the research article. It's not made by me. It is based on the research and the literature review.
Lovely, thank you. I think that's all the questions now. So thank you so much today, Bipin, for an excellent presentation. For those who are on and would like to refer back to Bipin's presentation, we will be uploading the recording onto the IIRSM YouTube channel after the event. So thanks to Bipin and thanks for everyone for attending, and we hope to see you at the next Saudi Arabia branch meeting. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you very much, and have a nice day, everyone.
And you, bye-bye.